speed and velocity. First thing, speed and velocity both are denoted by small letter v, remember. And one very important point, speed is related to distance, velocity is related to displacement. That means in the definition of speed, we should have distance. And in the definition of velocity, we should have displacement, remember. Let us see the definition of speed first. So speed is the distance traveled by a body in unit time. So it is the distance traveled by a body in a unit time. Let us understand this with the help of same example that we considered a little while earlier. Now we know that this train wants to move from point A to point B. To do so, it will take this path. So this is the total distance traveled by the object. Let us say this distance is 10 meters. So this 10 meters is nothing but the distance. Let's bring this distance over here, right? Now let us assume, it's just an assumption, that it takes 1 second to cover this distance. That means this 1 second is nothing but unit time. So in physics, whenever we say 1, it means unit. So we have unit time. So let's bring unit time over here. Now if we divide these two terms, that means we are dividing distance and unit time. When we divide this, what we actually obtain is nothing but the formula for speed. That means speed is equal to distance upon time is the formula. So let us bring this formula over here. So we have speed is equal to distance upon unit time. You can also write this formula as speed is equal to distance upon time. So this was about speed. Now let's talk about velocity. In the earlier part of this distinguished, we also understood that speed is related to distance and velocity is related to displacement. That means in the definition of velocity, we should have the word displacement. Speed is the distance traveled by a body. Distance traveled by a body. Here we should write the displacement that occurs. Because displacement is not traveled, it just automatically occurs. So velocity is the displacement that occurs in a unit time. Now the formula for speed is equal to distance upon unit time. Now think and tell yourself what should be the formula for velocity. The formula obviously will be velocity is equal to displacement upon time. Now one more thing. You remember I said distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. And if speed is related to distance, that means speed also becomes a scalar quantity. That is what the third point is. It is a scalar quantity and here it is a vector quantity. That means velocity obviously is a vector quantity. Let us see the final point. It is always positive or 0 but never negative as it is a scalar quantity. We have already discussed this. And here it may be positive or negative or 0. So this was about speed and velocity, which is a very simple understanding.